Okay, guys, chapter 9, section 1. This is part B. We're going to do writing the equations of the parabola. All right, writing the equations of the parabola. This is going to be fairly easy, I promise. We just did last period. They were like, oh, this is so much better than yesterday. Okay, again, understand, guys, you will be given these formulas. And you'll be given this formula. All right, what are the differences between the two? One, the top one, the vertex is at 0, 0. The bottom one, the vertex is not at 0, 0. It moves, right? The vertex is your H and your K. You guys remember that? Okay. An x squared parabola goes what direction? Up or down. And our y squares goes which way? Left and right, correct? Okay, if our p-value is positive, it's either up or right. If your p-value is negative, it's either down or left. So again, we're going to go methodically through this, and we're going to identify what we have, which formula to use, and then we can write our equation. The easiest thing to do, guys, I'm telling you, is to draw a picture. If you have a vertex at 0, 0, there's my vertex. So I know right away it's either x squared or y squared. We don't have anything in parentheses or all that. My focus is at 2, 0. Where is 2, 0? To the right, correct? So now you know a lot about your parabola. Which way is it facing? To the right. Because parabolas open which way? Towards the focus and away from the directrix. So you know this is a y squared. You know that your 4p is what kind of a value, positive or negative? Just put it right there on that desk, thanks. You know that your 4p is what? Positive, good. So now what is the p-value? Remind me, how do you figure out what the p is? What is p? The distance from where? Vertex to focus. You guys can count. How far is it from the vertex to the focus? 0, 0 to 2, 0. It's 2. Another way you can look at that, here is my vertex, and here is my focus. Which number changed? The x, which makes sense. Look, right, from your vertex to your focus. How many spaces did we move? 2. So your p-value is 2. It's positive because your parabola is facing to the right. So you're going to plug a 2 in right there. So your equation would be 4 squared. Sorry, not 4 squared. Y squared equals what? 8x. There's your equation. Draw the picture. I'm telling you, it'll make your life so much easier. Draw the picture. Here's my vertex right there at 0, 0. Where is my focus? Up. Very good. That's all you need to know is it's up. It's at 3/8. So what do we know about a parabola? It opens which way? Towards the focus. So what kind of a parabola do I have here? X squared or y squared? It's an x squared equals 4p times y. I know it's x squared because it's vertical. I know my p-value is what? Positive or negative? Which one? Positive, because your parabola is going which way? Up. Good. What is the value of p? How far is it from 0, 0? Look, you can look at it this way if you want. How far is it from 0, 0 to 0, 3/8? It's how much? 3/8. So you're going to plug in 4 times 3/8. So x squared equals 4 times 3 is 12 over 8. What does that reduce to? 12 over 8. What does that reduce to? 3 over 2. Good. Perfect. If you draw a picture and remind yourself we open towards the focus, away from the directrix, this is super easy because you're going to be given the formulas. All right, again, draw a picture. Again, we're still at 0, 0, so I know that's either just x squared or y squared. Where is my focus? At 2/3, 0. Which way am I moving? Left, right, up, or down? Right. To the right. It's over here at 2/3. Tell yourself that's your focus, because now you know, oh, my parabola is a positive one, and it's opening which way? To the right. So I know it's y squared equals 4p times x. What is the value of p? How far is it from 0, 0 to 2/3, 0? How far is that? 2/3. So I say y squared equals 4 times 2 over 3x. So I now say y squared equals 8 over 3x. Okay, good. Now, the hardest one we're going to do is number 4 and then number 7. It's not hard. This is a tad bit different. And you guys have done problems like this for lines. You've done problems like this for our parabolas in chapter 2. This question gives you some information. So go ahead and draw a picture. Here is my vertex at 0, 0. So I know it's either x squared or y squared. And it tells me a point that this parabola passes through at negative 2, 12. So we're up here. It's just a random point. And it tells me that the vertex is on a vertical axis. What does the axis do to a parabola? It cuts it in what? Half. So if it's vertical axis, it's going to cut the parabola in half which way? Up and down, right? So like this. So that's telling you that the left side of the parabola looks the same as the right. And it passes through that point. So what kind of a parabola do we have here? Is it vertical or horizontal? It's vertical, right? That's giving you the picture that's vertical. So what do we need to know to write our equation? Well, I know my vertex is 0, 0, so it's 4p times y. How do I figure out what p is with the given information? Think for a second. What did they give me that I could possibly plug in to figure out what the p-value is? Because they didn't explicitly say, here's the focus, here's the directrix. What did they give me in the words?
Vertical axis.
Okay, vertical axis, good. That tells us that it's up and down. Good. What else? It passes through this point. What did they give me when they gave me a point that it passes through? What two letters? They gave me an x value. And they gave me a y value. If you guys were given a point and the slope, could you plug it into y equals mx plus b and figure out what the intercept is? Yes. If you were given a point on a parabola in the center, we plugged it in on our test and we found what the a value was. So in this case, when they give you the point that it passes through, you plug that in for your x and your y to find the p. So I'm going to say here x is negative 2 squared equals 4 times p times 12, right? What's negative 2 squared? 4. What's 4 times 12? 48, all right? Divide both sides by 48. If I reduce that, do you guys agree it's 1/12? Now do I have the two pieces of information I need to write my equation? Yes, I know it's at x squared. And then I'm going to plug in 1/12 from my p-value. So when you multiply, you get 4 over 12, which becomes what? 1/3. Another way you might see that written, say this was a multiple choice, you might see it written like this. Are those two things the same thing? Yep. Remember yesterday we start off with something in front, we had to divide. But when they tell you guys, hey, here is a point on the parabola, all they're saying is, hey, use this x and y, plug it into whichever equation you found, and find the p-value. It may not be always at the center. They'll give you the center and a point that it passes through, and then you can plug in, given that information. All right, the rest of these are super easy. Again, if you don't have a picture, you should draw one. What do you notice here? Number 5, what did they tell us? The vertex is not at 0, 0, so I'm going to go ahead and write an H and a K here, just so I don't forget. I'm still not 100% sure just by looking what kind of a parabola I'm talking about. So I'm going to plot my points. I'm at 1, 3. That's my vertex. And then my focus is at negative 1, 3. All right, I have a whole bunch of information now. What kind of a parabola do I have? If I have a parabola, which way does it open? Towards what? Towards the focus. So what kind of a parabola is this, guys? Is this an x squared or is this an x squared or a y squared?
Who do you want to call?
No one. Stop talking to me. This is a y squared parabola. So I know my center, again, I'm going to be giving you these formulas, but I know it's y minus k squared equals 4p x minus h, right? We already know our h and our k. Now we can find our p-value. A couple ways you can do this. First of all, I like to say my p-value is either positive or negative. Which way is this, positive or negative? Negative, the way that it's moving. We're opening to the left. Now, you can count, which is fine. Sometimes you can't because it's not whole numbers, but I like to just put my two values that they give me, whether it's directrix, focus, whatever, on top of each other. So my vertex is 1, 3, my focus is at negative 1, 3. What value changes, the x or the y? The x. You guys see that 3 stays the same? How much does it change? How far is it from positive 1 to negative 1? Or negative 1 to positive 1? How many units? It's 2. And I know it's negative because of the direction that my parabola is facing. Does that make sense? So I'm going to take that value and put it right here. So when I write my equation, it's y minus k. What's my k value? 3 squared equals 4 times negative 2 times x minus what? 1. So your equation is y minus 3 squared equals negative 8 times x minus 1. If you guys methodically write down all the stuff they give you and then plug stuff in, you're going to be perfectly fine. Here's another super easy one. This is a gimme. Call this a layup. There's my vertex right here at the middle. So I know which equations am I going to use? The x minus k, x minus h, y minus k, or just the x squared, y squared? Just the x squared, y squared, because we're at the origin. They tell me that my directrix, this is my directrix, is at y equals 1. Which way does the parabola open, guys? Down. It's towards the focus, away from the directrix. If the directrix is here at 1, where is my focus? Down here at negative 1. Do you have to find that? No. But just understand that we open towards the focus and away from the directrix. So your p-value is positive or negative? It's negative. How far is it from the origin down to 1 or from the origin up to 1? It's just 1, right? This is 1 and this is 1, depending on whichever way you want to look at it. So I know this is an x squared because it's a vertical. So I'm going to use that formula. And I know that the value of p is negative 1. So it's just x squared equals negative 4y. Questions? What do we have? 4 more? Almost done. Okay, again, super easy. Look at this one. Vertex, right here at 0, 0. Where's my directrix? 1, 2, 3, 4, over here. This is my directrix. Now, if you want to find the focus, go ahead. If my directrix is 4 to the right, where's my focus? 4 to the left. This is at negative 4. That's my focus. Which way does your parabola open? To the left. Why does it open towards the left? Towards the focus, away from the directrix. So I know that this is a y squared equals 4p times x. What is my p-value? What kind of 4? Which way is it opening? To the left or the right? It's opening to the left, so it's negative. So you have y squared equals 4 times negative 4x. So your equation is 4 squared equals negative 16x. Remember, if your parabola opens left or down, your p-value is negative. If it opens up or to the right, your p-value is positive. All right, this is a good question. So last period just asked me a really good question. I want you guys to see this. Tells you that your vertex is here at the origin, so you know it's just x squared or y squared. And a point passing through at negative 2, right here. Now look, you could draw a parabola this way, right? Or you could draw a parabola this way. Do you guys agree? Okay, somebody asked a great question. How do you know which one? What do they tell you that tells you if it's an up, down, or a left, right? It tells you the vertical axis. What do you know that the axis does? Cuts the parabola in half. So if they tell you that the vertical axis is right here at 0, 0, which parabola am I really creating? The yellow one or the white one? The yellow one. If they said the horizontal axis, then you would create the which one? The white one. So you know, okay, cool. We know that I'm going to use x squared equals 4p times y. Do you guys right now know the focus or the directrix or anything? No, so we can't count. But I do know that my p-value is going to be what kind of a number? Negative. Why is it negative? It's facing downwards. Good. Did they give me any information that I could figure out what that p-value is? Anything? Yep, where it passes through. They gave me an x value to throw in there and a y. So I'm going to say negative 2 squared equals 4 times p times negative 2. So 4 equals negative 8p. So what's p equal? Negative what? Negative 1/2. Negative 8. We're going to say 4 divided by negative 8. So I'm going to say this is my negative 1/2, and then we're going to plug it into the formula. So x squared equals 4 times negative 1/2 times y. So x squared equals, what's 4 times negative 1/2? Negative 2y. Good. Good, good, good. Two more. All right, let's see. Let's see what we're working with here. Is my vertex at 0, 0? No. So I'm going to go ahead right up here. Ooh, this is the H and this is the K, just so I don't make any silly little mistakes. So where is my vertex? At 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay. And then where's my focus? At 1, 2. Which way does the parabola open? Left, towards the focus and away from the directrix. So what kind of a formula am I using here? X squared or y squared? So y minus k squared equals 4p x minus h. Again, you guys are going to be given those formulas. So we already know the h and the k. Some of you like to look at your graph and then count. Some of you want to actually mathematically figure it out. First of all, my p-value is going to be what kind of a number? It's going to be negative because we're opening to the left. So then go ahead and mathematically you want to just write out your vertex and your focus. Which number changes, which number stays the same? Okay, the x's change, right? So that's where you're calculating how far it is. How far is it? How many spaces between 3 and 1 or 1 and 3? 2, right? And I know it's a negative 2 because we're opening to the left. Sometimes it's easier to visualize if you write them on top of each other. You can see. So let's just go ahead and plug everything in. I have y minus, what's my k value? 2 squared equals 4 times negative 2 times x minus what? 3, okay? So if we simplify that, y minus 2 squared equals negative 8 times x minus 3. Everybody with me? All right, look at the last one. Tiny bit tricky. What did they give me here at the origin? The focus. They didn't give me the vertex, did they? Okay. And then what they give me here at 1, 2, 3, 4. The directrix. In order to write my equation of my parabola, I need the vertex and the p-value. Well, they didn't give me either of those, did they? Do I have enough information to figure out where the vertex is? Where is it? Why is it here at 0, 2? It's equidistant. It's in between, right? The focus and the directrix. So if your focus is at 0 and your directrix says 4, where's the middle? 2. Very good. So your vertex is at 0, 2. So then what's the value of P? How far is it from the vertex to the focus or from the vertex to the directrix? It's 2 units. What way is my parabola opening? Why is it going down? Because you go towards the focus. So your p-value is actually what? -2. So think about, I don't know why I wrote it 2 again. -2. So what kind of a parabola is this? X squared or y squared? It's an x squared. So x minus h squared equals 4p times y minus k. So x minus 0 squared equals 4 times -2 times y minus 2, right? Could you leave x minus 0? Absolutely. If you want to write it as x squared, that's fine too. It doesn't matter. If you left it as x minus 0, that's fine. So then I have -8 times y minus 2. And that, ladies and gents, is it for parabolas. I realized yesterday I took the circle questions off of the WebAssign, but I forgot 2 of them at the top. I just totally missed it. So if you want to re-download it again, that's fine. Or if you just answer them, no big deal. But I took off, I think it was 1 and 3. But I will upload this in just a second. We're going to start streaming the mass in 10 minutes. So we can kind of chill out now.